They were living together, sharing a one-bedroom apartment, a Netflix account, groceries, everything, to everyone else. They looked like a normal couple, just going through a rough patch. But my buddy, let's call him Jake, felt the distance growing. You know when something just feels off. He'd come home from work, and she'd already be out. She stopped asking how his day was, and intimacy gone, like someone flipped a switch. They weren't married, but they'd been together long enough that the betrayal hit like a divorce. Jake didn't want to believe the worst. He blamed the stress, the economy, the apartment, anything but her, until the day she said, "I think I just need some space. I'm going to visit my family for a week." And just like that, she packed a bag and left. Jake felt sad. He missed her, worried about her, wondered if he was the problem. So on day 3 of her family visit, he took a walk downtown, trying to clear his head. That's when he saw her, sitting outside a restaurant, clinking wine glasses, laughing with her ex. And this wasn't a just bumped into each other. Lunch. They were cozy, comfortable, familiar. His arm on the back of her chair, her head tilted, smiling the way she used to smile at Jake. Jake didn't confront them. He didn't cause a scene. He took out his phone, and snapped pictures. Then he walked home in silence. No tears. Just this cold, growing clarity. Jake could have confronted her. He could have texted something like, "Hope your family is treating you well." But he didn't send and pulled out his lease agreement. Technically, the apartment was his. She was never on the lease, just a guest who'd moved in over time. And here's the kicker. Jake was on a month-to-month contract, but with a 60-day notice clause. So he filed it. That same week, Jake found a new apartment across town, arranged everything, quietly, strategically, while she was off rekindling romance with an old flame. Jake was planning her exit. She came back a few days later, acting tired and distant. Jake didn't mention the photos. He didn't scream or accuse. He just smiled. "Maybe we should try couples therapy," he suggested one night. She shrugged. Maybe. He stopped initiating intimacy. But truthfully, she wasn't offering anyway. When she stayed out late and said she was crashing with a friend, he said cool. She thought he was checked out, emotionally broken, maybe even on the verge of begging her to stay. But Jake wasn't falling apart. He was counting down the days. Jake had a moving crew lined up. He coordinated with the landlord who, by the way, turned out to be a real MVP. New tenants were scheduled to take over 2 days after Jake's official move-out. Viewings were scheduled while she was out with friends. The landlord kept it all hush-hush, and the best part, all the furniture was Jake's. Every last piece. She hadn't contributed a dime. Moving day, early morning. Jake and the crew show up with boxes, tape, carts, and coffee. They move like a well-oiled machine. Every drawer emptied, every shelf cleared. She walks in around noon, bleary-eyed and confused. What's going on? Jake doesn't yell, doesn't even look up at first. Then he calmly pulls out a small envelope and lays it on the kitchen counter. Inside, printed photos. Her, at lunch, with her ex. Thought her face goes pale. "You followed me?" "Nope," Jake says. "You just happened to cheat on someone who lives in the same city as your ex." She starts stammering. "I can explain, but it's already over." The landlord appears at the door like a character in a movie, holding a clipboard. "You have until midnight to get your stuff out," he says. "Otherwise, it'll be placed on the curb." New tenants move in 2 days. The only things left for her, a pile of toiletries, some clothes. That's it. Jake snaps one final photo before walking out. Her, standing in the middle of a half-empty apartment. No bed, no couch, no boyfriend, just the consequences of her own decisions. Some people seek revenge with fire and fury, but Jake, he used silence. He let her write her own ending, while he quietly turned the page. And that, my friends, is a level of self-control most of us only dream of. Sometimes, the best revenge is just moving on, before they even know what hit them. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell us in the comments what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever witnessed. And hey, if you love stories where justice is served cold, hit subscribe. We've got more coming every week.